All right. It's been a little while. Had some home time. I was there for about 7 days. It was unplanned 7 days. Got sent home a bit early. Just the way freight was moving that particular part of the week, dispatch just told me to get going home a day early. Kind of 2 days early. But it was much needed. I was out for a full month at that point, which I'm not complaining. I actually don't mind it out here at all. But my wife does. So. But I've been at Millis now for 6 months. And that includes classroom time. I haven't been in my own truck for 6 months. But I wanted to give a review of up to 6 months in. How have things been here? Good, bad, ugly. And so that's what I'm gonna do. Started Millis transfer back in April. Was in their classroom for 3 weeks and 2 days. The 2 days was orientation. My instructor was John Moore. And everything about the school that I went to in Eden, I went to Eden, North Carolina facility, was first class. I will tell you the Eden yard has, I would say, probably the largest training yard. So it pretty much has 2 of all of the maneuvers. And if you get in with Millis and you go to other yards, you're going to see that some of the maneuvers share some of the same space. So as far as Eden, I'd say if you have the choice to go to Eden, if not just to get John, would be to have the larger facility. Other than the facility, they take you to lunch every day, and they actually take you to lunch, which is really nice, because a lot of these places offer you like a bagged lunch. They might order pizza or something. I mean, we went to there was a seafood restaurant we went to. We went to a barbecue joint one day. Pizza Hut another day, Mexican restaurant. I mean, for 3 weeks. I mean, we were taken to a restaurant every day for lunch. Weekends, you're on your own. I drove home on the weekends. I'm about an hour and 40 minutes away from that facility, so I drove home on the weekends. But I can't say anything bad about the school at all. The curriculum in the beginning is really slow and boring, but it's just going to be that way. You watch videos on safety and stuff, and it's just not that exciting. But once you get past those first couple of days and you get out in the yard, everything really starts to break loose and you really start to have a good time. There was at no point during my training that I felt like I was not in good hands, or that I was put in a situation where my instructor was winging it and didn't know what he was talking about. So it's not going to be one of these facilities you see or you read about where people have some inexperienced person teaching them, like the blind leading the blind, so to speak. That was not the case. So classroom time, thumbs up. Then I got with my trainer, Perry. He has a channel as well, Pebbles Bootlegger. And Perry and I, for the most part, got along great. We never really butted heads or anything like that. We didn't get in any fights or anything. I know I read about a lot of negative stuff with trainers that you end up, not with Millis, but when you're out with a stranger and you're having to share this space. And in previous videos, I mentioned just various things about my training process outside of the classroom process. Perry, he gave me room in the refrigerator. He even went as far as buying a extra cooler that was like a refrigerated type cooler from Love's, so that we could have extra room for food, because him and I both big boys, we like to eat. He cooked. He facilitated if I needed clothes washed. He made sure that we got somewhere to, well, you know, it just, I didn't ever feel like I was trapped. As much as you cannot feel trapped in a truck with another person for 6 to 8 weeks. So if I had it to do all over again, I would do it the same way I did it this time, which was to go through the Eden facility and to get on with Perry. Let's see. There was a little bit of a hiccup there with me getting my CDL, but that was not. I'm not going to put that on Millis. What I will say is, while I was out in training, I feel like there should be a lot more focus on certain maneuvers being practiced, especially if somebody fails one. I failed my 90. There wasn't a whole lot of practice on my 90. It turned out a lot of the places we went, I didn't even have to do a 90 in real life. On my own, though, I have had to do a 90. So I failed it on my CDL first 2 times. Third time I got it. But if I could have got more practice, so that would be my only real complaint, I'd say, as far as my training went, to get more training on specific maneuvers. After that, I got into my own truck. And since I've been in my own truck, I've managed to average about 3,000 miles a week. Now listen to me when I say average. When I say average, there may have been a week I got 2,600 miles, 2,700 miles. There was a couple weeks I exceeded 3,000 miles. I got 3,400 miles one week. So my rolling average is about 3,000 miles. What I can tell you, I think it applies to, this would probably apply anywhere you'd go. Your dispatcher is going to take as good a care of you as you take care of them. Am I a super trucker? Nope. Do I do everything right? Nope. But I do bust my ass to try to get places on time, deliver my freight safely and efficiently. I set up my own schedule. I do recaps instead of having to do 34-hour resets. And so I'm rolling 7 days a week constantly. And I roll at nighttime, so that gets me more time on the road. So my experience with my dispatcher and my miles has been, I have a rolling average of about 3,000 miles per week. You do your own math on that at 43 cents per mile. Even though I did per diem, I'm not going to get into all that. Just do your math on 43 cents per mile. And that's what I'm making every week. So there's no need for me to talk about after tax stuff, because I have my 401k coming out, the insurance. I load up my insurance. So my bring home is probably actually going to be a little bit less than what yours might be. I don't know. I have everything maxed out pretty much. So that's been my mileage experience, and as far as the workload that I've been given. Every time I put in a home time request, no grief is given. I stay out here about 3 weeks at a time. Like I said, last time I was out here for 4 weeks, but it worked out with things, something I needed to take care of. But never does my dispatcher put me in a situation where I feel like I'm inconveniencing the company because I need to go home or want to go home. Millis will let you go home essentially for every 7 days that you're out, you get a day and a half of home time, but no less than 14 days out if you're OTR. So what that translates into, the shortest time is 14 days at a time, and you get 3 days. Millis has came through with my home time every time, efficiently, so efficient that it was more often than not, I was sent home a day early than what I put in. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, but I'd rather that than somebody get me home 3 days late. As I understand it, I don't know the specifics, but they actually have there's a financial benefit for their getting us home on time. I don't know what it is, but they're rewarded financially for getting us home on time. My truck has been great. I was given a 2019 with like 160 some thousand miles on it, practically new as far as that goes. You'll learn that once you get out here. Hell, I trained in the yard in school in a truck that had 1 million miles on it, pretty much. It was like 999,000 miles. I know I haven't covered everything. Honestly, I haven't started this adventure with any tone of kissing anybody's ass or anything like that. You know, everything just has worked out. My recruiter, Peggy, she was everything that she said to me has been true. Now, I have heard it rumored that we get like 1 cent raise every 90 days in our own truck. I haven't been in my truck 90 days just yet. The end of October is 90 days in my own truck. I know a few other people that haven't gotten that raise. So I don't know if that has anything to do with, as I segue into my last point, I don't know if that has anything to do with the Heartland takeover, which my point with Heartland is there's been no change that I've noticed. A few of the other long timers that have been here, they claim to notice something. I'm not saying they don't. I don't notice any change. My freight has been the same. The week after it was announced, I got a weird freight week where I got low miles, or low to me miles, like 2,300 miles or something like that. But the following week was when I got a 3,400 mile run. I mean, you know, it made up for it, for sure, putting me back close to that 3,000 mile average. But if you're hearing bad things about the Heartland Express takeover, I'm here to tell you from the inside that I haven't noticed one damn difference. I still feel like a Millis driver. I'm treated like a Millis driver. The company itself gets quite a bit of respect out here. Not necessarily to a point of reverence, but definitely, even though it's a company that has a student program, it's not treated like a Swift or a CR England. And this is not knocking anybody who might be watching this that works for Swift or CR England, but a reputation is a reputation, and I realize that an individual doesn't represent entirely the whole of the company that they work for, but I can still say at this point, even if I was looking to start with Millis right now, knowing there was a Heartland takeover, I would, if I knew what I know now, I would still jump in. You're not going to get better training anywhere else. And you're not going to be with a company that cares as much. I'm going to give you like a little snippet, then I'm going to close this. Before, there was an issue where students were like, you know, you were in class, you're not paid to be in class. So you're like 3 weeks or so without pay, or maybe more if you didn't have a job before you started class. Millis actually picked up on the fact that trainers were fronting the bill for the first week or so for their students when they got in the truck for a lot of the groceries. And the student was having to, I don't say beg, but it was kind of having to be out. So you get these comm data cards for your fuel and everything. Your safety bonus also goes on that. No, you don't pay for the fuel, but it's just somehow separated by the software. And they load $200 on your comm data card once you get out of training, once you get out of classroom training. So that way when you get in the truck with your trainer, you don't have to be hungry or be worried about where your food's going to come from or whatever while you're away from home for 6 to 8 weeks, because you get paid while you're in the truck with the trainer. But that first week might be a little rough for you. So they started doing that $200, and then you just pay that back, $50 a week over the course of 4 weeks. That's one of the things that, it's one of the little things that shows that Millis, it's just a family type place. I mean, they're cognizant of the needs of the people that work here. Am I forever Millis? Nobody can be a forever anything. Something could change tomorrow that just gets me to the point I'm like, nope. But what I can say, if you're thinking about getting into the business, there's no better place for you to get your training, no better place to be treated better as a student/new driver than Millis Transfer. In spite of the Heartland takeover, I haven't had one bad thing to do with Heartland at this point. So if you're looking for negativity on that, you ain't gonna get it from me. Not until something happens. And when something happens, you'll hear about it. I hope that this was helpful. It's just my review, my recap on just how I've not been lied to. Everything they told me at recruiting was exactly how it was. And I've been treated like a person here. And you will too. So if you have any other questions about it, send me an email so we can have a little dialogue. I don't mind talking to you on the phone. I know it's a difficult leap if you've never done the business. If you're somewhere else, you're probably wondering what kind of company it is, maybe compared to where you are. But that's all I got. Until next time, drive on, driver. Y'all stay safe out there.